This is Lakefront News. Make sure to check out the Halloween events happening on campus throughout this month. To find out more, visit the university website. Mayor Julian Castro was recently at the lake to discuss the Pre-K for Essay education campaign. The initiative is advocating for a 1/8 cent sales tax increase. The money would pay for teachers and staff and the building of 4 mega centers that would house full-day preschoolers. Voting will be held on November 6th. Also, don't miss the early voting for the presidential campaign, which begins October 22nd through the 29th. You can vote early down the road from the university at Las Palmas Library at 515 Castroville Road. If you saw many law enforcement agents on campus recently, the Center for Women's Church and Society says not to be alarmed. I went out to get the story. The San Antonio Police Department collaborated with the Center for Women in Church and Society to host the first annual Violence Intervention Conference. The goal of this conference was to provide education for professionals working with victims and offenders of domestic violence and provide training for professionals investigating these crimes. The conference included workshops, scholarship opportunities, and vendors on campus.
The purpose of it is to kind of help bring awareness that, domestic violence, for domestic violence, but also to provide a forum where professionals who have to deal with victims of domestic violence can come and get more information. So they'll have different guest speakers, and these law enforcement people will be attending those classes to get credit in their field or just to gain that knowledge.
Some of the many guest speakers included forensic examiners, child and family therapists, and women's rights activists.
This is actually the first year. The Center for Women in Church and Society does bring about awareness about domestic violence every year. They do the Clothesline Project, with the counseling services and Active Minds, and they do various activities. But this is the first time that there's actually a conference here. I asked students on campus how they felt about the conference.
Violence against women and domestic violence are issues that need to be at the forefront of people's minds, especially with the upcoming election. To have the forum here is important. We are a pretty open campus for social issues. What I can say is bad about it is the parking. I had to drive around for like 10 minutes this morning because there were no parking spaces. But other than that, I think it's great that y'all have this, and I think it's great that it's lasting more than one day. It's pretty awesome.
It should be put out there, and more people should know about it. And it's a good way to show that Our Lady of the Lake cares.
Courtney Willey, Lakefront News. Students had the opportunity to voice their academic concerns to administrators and deans at the event that occurred on campus. Reporter David Romo tells us what administrators had to say.
The Student Government Association sponsored the event Academics and Appetizers in order to address any student concerns about academic programs or policies that have changed recently.
Today's event is our traditional Academics and Appetizers event. It's an opportunity for students to ask administrators, any of their concerns. Pretty much, it's a great, place that you feel safe, that you can ask these types of questions to really understand how accessible administrators are.
The SGA president attributes the low turnout to the fact that many students don't have many complaints with administration.
The low amount of numbers at these types of events kind of reflect on how well the university is doing. If there is a large amount of students here, I would assume there'd be a large amount of issues.
Administrators in attendance included President Tessa Martinez-Pollock, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Helen Strubert, Associate Vice President for Teaching and Learning, Ken Gonzalez, and the Dean of the School of Business and Leadership and Interim Dean of the School of Professional Studies, Robert Bisking. Some of the topics discussed were the recent implementation of transcript fees and the decision to not offer several majors to incoming students starting the next academic year.
There are 7 departments that have, or 7 majors that have decided already to close their programs as a major. They'll still be here to offer courses in that area, and any student who's here in that major will finish in that major.
Students whose majors are being discontinued won't have to worry about having to look for courses outside of the lake to complete their degree plan.
Some programs on our campus do require students to take courses off campus now, so that wouldn't change. But no, we won't be outsourcing our courses to other universities. The students will be finishing them here. That's the way their program is run up to this time.
A complete list of majors that will no longer be offered here at the Lake will be released at the beginning of next month, and any student that has any concerns regarding this or any other problems may contact their student government representatives at sga@olusa.edu. David Romo, Lakefront News.
We now have an update with the new $5 transcript fee policy. The Administrative Council has modified the $5 fee shortly after enforcing it. Current students will now receive free transcripts within 30 days of graduation and free transcripts for 1 month post-graduation. All transcripts will be mailed. Our Lady of the Lake students will have an opportunity to put forth their opinion towards a research marketing project for a major company whose products can be seen at grocery stores across the country. Here to give us more on the story is reporter Neda Escamilla.
OLLU's Association of Latino Professionals in Finance and Accounting has partnered with the Clorox Corporation to conduct market research targeting college students.
The following weeks we're going to start sending out surveys to all students so they can answer them. And it's going to be a pretty quick survey, just asking a few questions like, oh, did you like the products? What was your favorite product? How do you use it? And just to gain that information as to what was a favorite product and why is it. And just if they will buy it once they have money, once we have jobs and earn money. That's what they want to know.
Clorox will use the results of a survey answered by OLLU students to determine which products are best for the college generation.
Right now, the project consists of giving free products to all students, not just undergraduates, but graduate level, undergraduate level, and give them a little sample so they can use them and get familiar with them, and just decide by themselves if they want to use them in the future.
In the next couple of weeks, they'll also be sending more products, so we'll keep those products stocked in the dormitories. We've just gotten word that they've basically run out. Obviously, they're liking them. If they've run out already, they like them, they want to use them. So we just have to keep the momentum going so that they can try not only the products that were in the initial packet, but some new products.
Our Lady of the Lake is the only university selected to participate in this project because of the university's association with ALPFA and the large number of students who identify as Latino.
All students are urged to fill out the surveys that will be distributed in the upcoming weeks. This will help Clorox help build a better market for college-aged people like you. Neda Escamilla, Lakefront News.
Thank you, Neda. For the past couple of years, the Sultan Fuss Library has displayed uniforms belonging to students, faculty, or staff for the month of November to honor those who have served in the military. The OLLU community is now inviting others to begin bringing in their uniforms, along with a short biography of their term of service to be displayed. Items should be brought to room 203 in the library. A new organization has been brought to campus, and there has already been a high student turnout rate. We go to reporter Sara E. Bejarano for the latest.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the largest sport organization in the world, is now here on campus.
FCC has been bringing together student coaches and the community across the nation since 1954. However, Our Lady of the Lake just gained this organization this past September. During this week's meeting, Roy Terracina, chairman of the board here at OLLU, was a guest speaker and shared some inspirational stories. He touched upon his struggles in gaining success and how he overcame them with his faith. The idea to bring FCC to campus was that of Sister Joyce, Director of Campus Ministry, and of Nashe Owens, who is part of the women's basketball team.
Me and my boss, Sister Joyce, wanted to get something started, like trying to combine like athletics and also Christianity together, and we thought this organization would be well equipped for that.
This organization is solely run by student athletes, their coaches, and volunteers. During this week's meeting, our very own athletes conducted the initial and final prayers and even played for the group.
More people that are actually here to school, not just for school, but to get closer to God, to engage in God, to actually make a difference in His name.
FCC's primary goal is to influence students by prayer, Bible studies, and retreats. FCC also helps students by providing with spiritual guidance, support, and mentoring. Everyone is welcome to attend the meeting, even if you're not an athlete. Students will partake in prayer, icebreakers, games, and hear a speaker every week. There will also be free food provided during the meeting.
We have a good time. It's always relaxing, you know. It's nothing, oh man, condemning, nothing like that. It's just coming together and just worshiping and praising God for everything and all the blessings that you have in your life. So.
If you want to be a part of FCC, make sure to attend their weekly meetings every Wednesday in the UAC in room 104. This has been Sara E. Bejarano for Lakefront News.
Thank you, Seta E. Advising Week for students is already here. Early registration for the spring starts the 29th, so students don't forget to check in with your academic advisors. Our Lady of the Lake University has also signed a new dining service vendor, Selrico Service, after previous contracts expired. Reporter Jesus Cortez has the story.
There's a new dining service here at the lake. I went to find out more information on it and what feedback students are giving.
Jack Hank, Vice President of Student Life, explains how many other vendors applied for the new contract for the dining service.
We invited bids from really several different companies. Sodexo was one of them. Chartwell's, of course, rebid. Aramark was one, along with several other vendors that both local and nationally that we asked to submit proposals for. And the end result was Selrico did win the bid.
Selrico Services is a food service contract provider, and we've been in business since 1989. We came to the university at the end of May, and we began feeding the summer program in July.
Most students seem to be happy about the new dining service vendor.
I really like it. The food, I feel like, has improved. The staff has also improved as well. I feel like they're a lot more friendly.
They have a lot of variety, and it's always something different every day.
But there are still some students who have reservations about the pricing.
I think the pricing is still a little too high for me.
Mr. Hank explains how students can voice their opinion on the new dining service.
There is a food service committee, so I'm looking for input back from there. They actually meet once a week on Thursdays, generally down in the cafeteria, which students or staff can stop in and say, hey, this is something I'd like to see changed.
For more information on how to get involved in the food committee, you can contact the Student Government Association at sga@ollusa.edu. Jesus Cortez, Lakefront News.
Thank you, Jesus. After 24 years of spooky service to San Antonio, the city's longest-running haunted house, Nightmare on Grayson Street, will be closing its doors for good after this Halloween season. The facility will be used for mixed-use development. Gordon Wise, Director of Operations, told MySA he will miss the haunted house and all the quirky things that have happened over the years, such as proposals and a marriage with bride and groom as Mr. and Mrs. Frankenstein. That does it for this week's weekly newscast. Check us out online at www.lakefrontsa.com/TV. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.